Welcome back to another episode of the Level Up Climbing Series. I'm Marcus, a not-so-great climber from Vancouver, Canada, who's hoping to get a little bit better through analysis and an increased motivation for climbing. Today we're here in High Vancouver, starting off my warm-up on this purple 3 hex. I thought that it was pretty well set. I thought this beginning part was actually a little bit difficult trying to get my foot there and required quite a bit of balance. Shoutouts to that guy for ducking under the camera. From there though, I thought the rest was pretty straightforward. The crimps are pretty good. The feet here are pretty easy to get to. And I feel pretty stable. As you see, my hands weren't even on any holds there. Just had to get myself balanced there, use the knee on the volume and make that match. And then it's also a top out, so topped out there. Next, I hopped onto this green 3 hex and it looked pretty crimpy. I was having trouble reading the start. I thought it was originally going to be a right hand, but that it was just a pretty crimpy hold. And so here I realized, yeah, it should be left. And I'm still figuring out where to go until I see this right hand here. And I'm trying to figure out how to make this move. So on this next go, I remember to go right hand next. And instead of bringing the foot up, I decide to back flag here. And that allows me to stick that move. And next onto the right hand, it felt pretty difficult. So we hit the back flag again. And I decided to go for a drop knee here on the right. And that keeps my hips just a little bit closer to the wall. And I managed to stick it. And on this last move, it was difficult to figure out if I go left or right and where to place the feet. Right just felt more natural here. And I realized I think my feet were just a little bit too high. So this time, if you compare it to last time, I keep my right foot a lot lower. And I managed to stick and hold it. But yeah, for a 3 hex warm up, that took me 4 tries and it was pretty tough. I thought it was well set. And I think I made some really good adjustments between each attempt, from finding the back flag to the drop knee and just the better footwork on that finish. So really happy with that climb. And it was time to start doing some 4 hexes. So this blue 4 hex was one that I tried a few weeks prior and I thought it was impossible. I think that last move is terrifying. There you see I don't even fully dyno, I just bail and go for the down climb holds. And yeah, it was being taken down after this week, so I thought I'd at least give it another few solid goes. And yeah, I cannot describe just how far it is and how scary it is. Luckily, my friend decided to come off the mats because I was just flying so far. But yeah, you have these 2 underclings and it's really hard to dyno from. And what I realized and what my friends were telling me is if you watch my hips, they go into the wall and then up. Whereas ideally they should go more of a Pythagorean. Sorry for the bad camera shot there. But yeah, I gave it a solid number of attempts. I just don't think I was getting high enough and it was just so scary trying to dyno on that finish. So we moved on and we're never going to get that climb again. This green 4 hex seemed very my style. Lots of heel hooks, healing on the left there, healing on the start, and finding a heel on the right here. This is the move that I saw a lot of people fall on, and most of them went right hand. I, for some reason, felt like left just made a lot more sense here. The right hand felt pretty good, and yeah, so after this, it was pretty straightforward. I don't necessarily think it was easy, but I think for me, it felt pretty easy. This yellow 4 hex was also one that I had seen a lot of people fall on. I hadn't really seen anyone else actually do the climb. I just happened to see people, I'd glance towards the top and I'd see that they were falling. So I didn't exactly know the beta or really anything about the climb. But here I was really struggling to find out the feet. Just the way that slopey hold is on the left, you really want to be able to pull it to the bottom right. And I just couldn't figure out where to place the feet. Also to note, well, that yellow foothold is just beneath that pink, and it makes it really hard to use. The pink is kind of blocking it. So here I find a little toe hook on the right, and that's exactly what I need to be able to apply strength in that bottom right direction. But from there, I can't really move. I'm fully locked in, and although I feel stable, I just don't know how to get out of the position. So I'm trying to find other options, but the lower toe hook just feels so correct. And I try and see if I can reach that left, but I fall out. Shoutouts to my friend Liz, though. She asked me if I could use the higher toe hook here, and I thought I'd at least give it a try. So here, again, I'm having trouble using that that left foot toe, but eventually I find it, and I now have that toe hook, and I think this is doable. I release the toe, and I do fall, but it feels like something I can hold, so I decided to use that as my feature beta. So coming back, using the left foot with the toe. I try and see if right hand makes any sense. I can go right left, but right hand made absolutely no sense. Get the foot up, we're holding it, and I'm just in that gas on position, and I'm trying to find out if there's something more static I can do, and it's just pretty tiring. So on this next go, just feeling a lot more confident knowing what the beta is. I think I was a lot more efficient towards the bottom. Over here I know it's just straight into the toe hook, bringing the left foot up, releasing the right toe hook, nice and controlled, and just going straight to it. I completely cut feet and everything, but it's just such a jog, and I was really proud of myself for getting this. Just again, making the right adjustments that I needed to send the climb. And yeah, so for the last time of the day, I hopped onto this blue 4 hex. I was pretty sure it was being taken down within the next week as well, and it was something I had been working on every single session. I thought this was gonna be, I'd say this was my Vancouver project overall. But I was finding it very tough, especially for an end of session. Maybe I should have been trying to work on this more often towards the beginning of my session, but it is very crimpy, and all these holes were a lot greasier than before. And just with all the climbing already done, I just couldn't make this end. So that's another climb that is just will never be sent by me. Moving on, we're here in Hive Surrey, warming up on this orange 3 hex, and I actually thought this orange 3 hex was pretty tricky. This move in particular, just making your way around, seemed kind of hard. I saw quite a few people falling on that section. So I was happy to actually be able to flash this, and yeah, it was a great warm-up climb. I moved on to this yellow 4 hex that I had been trying at my in the last episode during my last time here at Hive Surrey, and just feeling a lot fresher. This beginning section really flowed a lot better. I had a little bit more skin compared to last time, but this move by far was the crux, I think, both visually as well as actually climbing it. That penultimate hold is just so far, and it's very tough to figure out where to place the feet and how in the world I'm supposed to get there. And yeah, there aren't really amazing feet on the right. I didn't have any specific beta at this point, and I was just trying to do what my body told me was right, which was trying to get that heel there and lean towards the right. But as you see, it's so far that I need to use my momentum to get there a little bit, but I have nothing to stop me from falling outright. And as I go far enough there too, the left hand just gets worse and worse. Ideally, I would like to flip the hand. I'd like to supinate the hand, the left hand, and kind of flip it, but it feels just very difficult to do in that position. So instead, I I decided to move on and hop on this blue 5 hex. I was happy to stick that move on my first go, and I get to this pinching part, and oh man, again, I think my pinching strength needs a lot of work. I think same thing on that yellow that I had just been working on. Maybe if my pinch strength was a little bit better, I wouldn't find it as difficult. But yeah, I thought even throwing with that left hand was kind of hard. And yeah, from the pinch, I just couldn't find a way to really pull myself towards the up left. We tried this purple 4 hex, and again, I was finding this very tough to keep the tension in the right foot. So it's crazy because visually, and they actually are just absolute jugs here, but since they're underclings, I really do need the feet to take up most of that weight. And it's just really hard to see what exactly I can do besides try and keep more tension on that right foot. I also wasn't sure between the two which one to go for. I think I saw most people go just to that left of the two, but I did try the right one there. Since I wasn't getting really any climbs, and I didn't have too many projects going on at this time, I decided to hop onto this blue 3 hex. I thought it looked a little silly, a little goofy. It starts with both hands on this big blue ball thing, and it took me a while to figure out how to even straddle it and everything. But from there, I kind of committed too hard to that very dynamic move and should have gone left hand first. So once I get the left hand, I can hit that dynamic move with the right, and honestly the rest of it was pretty straightforward. Nothing to really commentate on here. But in general, yeah, for this whole session, there wasn't anything that I felt like, oh, I'm going to get this today at the gym. And overall, this whole session was just a lot of no sense, I guess. This black 4 hex was one of those climbs that I had been working on, and I kept getting to this point here where I got the left foot onto the foot chip, but it's just so difficult to get any weight onto it. It just kept slipping off, and I'm not really sure what I can do better about it. Like, you can see I keep trying to actually load it, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong, so if anyone has any guesses as to how or tips as to how I can load that foot better, that would be amazing. This orange 4 hex was disappearing after today, and I was feeling a lot closer. This attempt, unfortunately, I didn't get the start, but that was the closest attempt I felt. But it really sucks. We were unfortunately in a rush to leave, and so I'm not even close on some of these attempts because I'm just going back to back to back to back with very minimal rest. I really do think that if I had spent maybe an extra hour on this and didn't have to leave, I could probably at least get this first move. But I didn't.